everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Jen. Please add me on Gaia Online. You can find me at Estrogen. I have a monthly collectible for you.
I'm Kim, and I forgot to feed my Tamagotchi today.
Tragic. And Bobby's in the house.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey everyone.
Woo!
My friends don't like Dr. Pepper.
What? I love Dr. Pepper.
Are you sure?
I think I do. Anyway. Welcome back, guys. It is actually our anniversary episode. Can you believe it? We've been around for a fucking year.
Let's go. We love to see some growth.
I think we've grown as podcast people. We are still learning a lot, but it just feels like yesterday that I hit up Kim about my half-baked idea about this podcast, and they were all about it. And I don't know, guys, like I love doing this podcast, and I'm so happy to do it with my friends. And yeah, any words before I get all sentimental, guys?
Yeah, no, just glad to be here. And, you know, I would always think about doing some kind of emo podcast, but I was always like, no, I can't do that. You know,
Yeah.
I never knew who to do it with. And of course, like, I probably should have, like, thought, like, hey, Jenny.
The answer was right in front of you the entire time.
Literally, yeah. I never saw myself recording podcast episodes, I guess, for some reason, let alone, like, streaming on Twitch, too. I just never saw myself doing that, but, you know, gotta get out your comfort zone. Exactly, yeah. So, glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Glad to have some, like, serious, like, we've made some friends online, I guess, in the last couple of months we've been doing this. And if you're listening, we appreciate you, especially like the bands that have just been so cool about shouting us out and blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all the real ones. And we can't wait to see you guys in concerts and, like, yeah, all those good things. And Bobby, any words that you have? I know you joined a little later, but you were very much involved with the beginning of the podcast. I think you even helped name the podcast in some ways. Like, yeah, I remember just like bouncing name ideas off of you. So how does it feel to be now on this side of things?
It's kind of interesting because, like, I always think about that one tweet where it's like guys in their 30s end up going into one of three archetypes. They either really like IPAs, they really like barbecuing, or they really like making podcasts. And I somehow ended up in that third one. I never thought I would be there.
I never thought I would be here either. Maybe I did, but like, yeah, I don't know. Not at this point in my life. It does feel very cringy when I tell people I have a podcast, but I don't know. I just fucking love doing this. We're gonna keep going until we can't go anymore.
Yep, here's to many more years of the pod.
What's up? Fresh is our turn, baby.
Now that we've hit 1 year, like, do you have any goals, or like, you know, what do you want to see this podcast evolve into? Because we've talked behind the scenes a lot about, you know, what this is and how we want to develop this little project, I guess, that we're creating. That I think we've said it a bunch of times, like, we're not strictly an emo podcast by any stretch of the imaginations. Like, I think the guys over at Washed Out Emo want, like, if they ever catch wind, they want to fight us about this podcast. But, like, we are a more, like, you know, there was that moment in time that, like, we're trying to capture in this podcast that we experience, obviously. And we just called it emo or scene or blah, blah, blah. But what I'm trying to get at is, like, what do you want to do more of on this podcast? And maybe it will excite our listeners.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just something I always daydream about. I'm like, oh, what can we, you know, either add to the podcast, or, you know, what will this like turn into eventually? I definitely want to go down the line of interviewing people, just people in the, I guess, alternative scene, whether that be music, art, painting art, people who make fashion, you know, just people who also, I guess, were super inspired by that time period of our lives, you know, like the early 2000s and, you know, 2010s even, you know, since we talk about that too on here.
Same dreams in that regards. Like, it'd be so cool to really just interview the DIY scene, because I think there's a lot of cool shit happening right now. And while it's kind of cool to see like the resurgence of emo and scene and all these like alternative like bands that we grew up kind of come back, because it's I guess, fashionable. But, like, at the core, like, you know, and we're going to talk about this later in the podcast, like, we never started listening to this music because we thought it was going to make us popular or anything like that.
We're a couple of misfits.
There's so many acts and so many people in this scene that aren't any sort of attention, and I would like to shine a light on them. Or, you know, even, the big dreams are, like, obviously we would love to interview the bands that influenced us growing up and stuff like that. So, yeah, love those goals.
But yeah, I guess other goals of mine for this podcast would be also, you know, just interacting with you guys, listeners at home, on our social media accounts. You know, it's always a fun time talking to you guys. And like Jenny was saying about getting a contact with some of the bands that have been shouting us out. It's been super cool lately. And
it's so fun. It's the lifestyle that I, like, 16-year-old me would be living right now, that I'm like, but the bands that we do talk to are honestly like fans of their music, which is like fucking wild, I think, you know.
That's the craziest part of it, right? Yeah, like I actually listen to you guys.
Like, we've talked about them a few times. I feel so comfortable just to mention them anytime, but pull the curtain.
Oh yeah, love them.
It's so cool getting to know them, and really, like, you know, when they actually roll through, you're gonna have two elder emos fucking being proud of you in the pit.
Yes. I definitely got to see them live. Like, hopefully this year.
I would love to. I don't know. I wish I had pull somewhere that I could be like, hey, you need to book these guys right the fuck now. And then we'll throw I Heart Boobies bracelets at them, because I promised I would do that.
Yeah, we got to start collecting those for them.
We got to start collecting those. Just a bunch of rubber. That will be an incident that will go down in their history. Like, yeah. Anything else before I go into, like, any of my goals, I guess, Kim? Or
this might be, you know, not a goal of mine that's going to happen, like, tomorrow or anything. But, you know, it would be super cool. I always talk about it with Alex all the time. I'm like, oh, me and Jenny really need to host, like, an emo night one day.
Yes.
Like, I think it would just be super cool to be, like, on stage. I don't know, just playing our favorite songs. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
I have a connection that is connected with the Brooklyn emo guy. I would love to make that happen. It's so funny now because, again, the photos that, like, we took when we were 13, 16, respectively, how long our, like, emo years lasted in our teen years, which maybe they never ended. It was never a phase. But I showed photos of, and dude, we're gods. We're gods now. Like, they're like, we need to, like, you know, like, all we need to do is show our photos on the screen at emo night, and everyone would take us seriously. Everybody, no, these bitches know. They were there.
I see some of the teenagers these days, and, like, I just think they're so cool. I wished I looked as cool as they do now. You know, it's just crazy. I feel like I look so, like, nerdy and, like, not.
With that said, like, I've definitely been walking around my neighborhood, and, like, you know, me, an adult now, will, like, walk by kids getting off of school, and I've seen, like, not everyone looks good. And I don't mean that in, like, oh my God, you guys look terrible. I'm saying I see myself in a lot of these kids that I'm passing. And it's like, I'm seeing the hair swoops come back. I'm seeing the checkered backpacks, like, and it's so funny to me because I'm just like, holy shit. It's like looking in a mirror. I just want to be like, yo, kid. Yeah, like, yo, I'm proud of you. And I hope the best for whatever is coming for you. Yeah, it's wild to see this all come back, and I'm happy we're here for it, I guess. I don't know. I'm happy this podcast exists because when we started this, like, maybe there was a murmur that emo was coming back, and maybe, you know, that's not really true. I guess it was, like, here, but, like...
Yeah, but I feel like it wasn't as, like, crazy as it's getting now.
Yeah, like, again, we're gonna talk about, like, emo cruises and all the blah blah blah, but, like, I really feel like, yeah, the podcast kind of started at the perfect time, so here we are.
Yeah, no, we did good.
We did good. We did good. We got ahead. Yeah. But, yeah, I guess going, like, quickly into my goals for this podcast is something that I've already, like, started doing, which is honestly reading up on the scene and, actually doing research on the music industry. For the listeners at home, I landed a dream job and now I am working in the entertainment business. I feel confident enough that they don't care. Like, the guys I work for is a small studio. They're called Fragment 9. We do live visuals and they're so dope, so cool. We're so casual. And I have been dreaming of this moment since I went to my first concert. I just wanted to be a part of the thing that makes people feel good. So with that said, I've been wanting to make people happy with music and visuals for as long as I can remember. And because I'm working in this new like atmosphere, I was like, well, I should brush up on like actual music things and things like that. Not to say I need to know these things to do my job well, but it helps. And then also, we were talking about why we love bands and why we love music or why we hate things. And, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that influence why things played out that way, which I think is ultimately really interesting to talk about. So, like right now I'm reading a book called Sell Out by Dan Ozzie. Shout out to you, Dan Ozzie. Great writer, great emo boy turned adult. I just finished up a few chapters of Sell Out that talked about the early days of Green Day's, the early days of Green Day, but specifically when Dookie came out. Shout out to you, Dookie, for turning 28. I read a chapter on Jimmy Eat World, Jawbreaker. A lot of things that I think maybe not in this episode we'll dive into, but I would like to talk about, the true history and how certain bands became big and how certain bands just didn't really fit in the mold and how much a label means to the scene or blah, blah, blah. And then, also talking about people who did do it their own way and still have like recognition. You could look at Sunny Day Real Estate, things like that. But I want to become more of a history person. That was a long way of saying that. And I hope, again, because we'll have more facts on hand and actual hopefully it'll get the discussions going, and I would love to start talking with the fans online about like that kind of world.
Yeah, if you guys want a history lesson, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I would love to do like a history-focused episode one day on certain bands. So if there's a band you want to know more about, or like, me and Kim keep like tossing around the idea of like doing a whole Escape the Fate, like just talk, because there's so much that has happened with that band, but also I'm not aware, and I think Kim knows a little bit more, not a little bit, I think you know a lot more than I do, and I just want to like take that all in, like a timeline of how that band just developed over the years.
Yeah, no, that would be a lot of fun to talk about, just going deep into some of these like big bands during, that time period, and I guess technically still are, big deal right now, so.
Exactly. Bobs, we didn't ask you to prepare anything, but do you have any hopes for the pod?
I think I'm mostly just like wanting to maybe try to hook you both up with some super good microphones and recording stuff so we can continue to boost up the quality of the pod and make it as good as we possibly can.
Aww.
I know we're still very much like fledgling podcasters and stuff, but if I can help out either of y'all with making this as good as we can, I'm glad to help out.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate that, because that was definitely on my mind, but I'm like, I don't want to say it. I'm going to see if he's going to say it, so. No, of course, like I really want to tighten up the pod. I appreciate everyone who said, it sounds fine. Listen, my therapist says it. I'm a perfectionist, like a really lazy one, but a perfectionist nonetheless.
Same.
Yeah, guilty.
I appreciate anyone who's sticking by these, especially these early episodes. Like, we're still working out kinks, but I think we're getting better and better, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's been like really cool to grow with you both, and I'm glad we can record these episodes and make childhood us proud of us now,
I think so too. And again, there's so much happening behind the scenes too that we won't really talk about now, because they are still moving parts. We don't know what's really going to happen, but a lot of cool shit that I just maybe a year ago, no, like, it's happening now. I'm just like, what? Really? You wanted to talk to us? Like, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see what happens. Like, I can't wait to see what this next year brings, so, yeah. But, yeah, I guess we'll dive into some of our topics today, guys. I want to just start off with, I guess, addressing reasons why it's okay to hate MGK. And the reason why I want to talk about MGK again, because y'all know he is not my mans, but everyone says he's my mans. And that is simply not true. I just really like Tickets for My Downfall. Great album. Will not take that back. Don't care how much Anthony Fantano hates it. I love you, Anthony Fantano. I just strongly disagree with the treatment of that album. I'm sure you both have seen or heard or even just seen me post about how people on TikTok were calling out MGK for not playing his guitar. Yeah. And, you know, like, it caught a lot of traction. A lot of people weighed in. A lot of, like, smaller bands were like, yo, blah, like, you know, I kept seeing it. And then I finally got to his page, and he was like, it's like, you know, he explained how his guitar works, and then he played, like, you know, it was just like, I'm like, yeah. You know, once that kind of rumor is just out in the open, like, now everyone's gonna, like, just kind of think he doesn't play. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I first saw that TikTok come up on my feed, and I was gonna send it to you. I was like, yo, this guy don't play his guitar. But I was like, you know what? Like, let me just ignore it. Like, I don't need to, like, feed the fire. And then I eventually saw MGK's response to it too, and I was like, okay, so I guess he does play his guitar. Not that I really give a shit about like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, whatever. Like, if this man doesn't play his guitar, like, whatever. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's not like I'd be super disappointed and be like, oh, like, I loved him and whatever, blah blah blah. So it's fine if he plays his guitar or not. I don't care. But yeah, no, it's just funny that, you know, you brought up this whole thing.
It's just like, it's the gatekeeping thing that gets me, I think.
No, I get it, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm just like, why? You know, like, just, yeah.
But is it that bad to gatekeep celebrities?
That's a good topic. I mean,
listen, like, I think that's just something I was actually, like, talking about a couple of weeks ago, because I was like, oh, like, you know, I'm that person too where I'm like, I don't want to gatekeep, but the person I was talking to was like, oh, but they're a celebrity, like, it's okay to gatekeep. Because I was talking about just, like, how goth people have been responding to, like, the whole goth girlfriend thing, which I think it's like, just a funny topic to talk about with Kim Kardashian and I can't remember the other one.
Oh, no. Or Courtney and Kim.
Courtney and Kim. Yeah, Courtney and Kim being, like, goth girlfriends and this and that. And, you know, it was just, you know, because I always, I end up on goth TikTok for some reason. I guess because I listen to The Cure. I don't know.
For some reason. Still listening to fucking him over there.
For some strange reason.
It's a strange topic because, like, I haven't seen any of those videos. But it also is, like, it really is just, I don't even want to say it's a resurgence. It's like, this has been a thing for so long, you know, like, we don't need to look far. Like, I just finished watching, which problematically maybe, but I just finished watching Pam and Tommy. And yeah, it's just like, that's not the blueprint, because you can look further and further. And there was always rock star with pretty girlfriend, rock star cigarette looking man, pretty girlfriend. Pamela Anderson, fucking gorgeous human being. And I'm not trying to say Tommy Lee wasn't a sexy human being, but I'm saying he kind of looked like he had the suds. You know, that is a Pete Davidson sud looking bod. So it's not new. You know, I watched like a video essay on why we have a fascination on that, and it's just like, you know, it's the bad boy has layers, and, you know, we thought Courtney and Kim didn't, and now that they're dating these people, and, you know, we can add Megan to the mix, because why not? It gives them an edge, even though they are still very marketable and sellable.
Oh yeah, I feel like they always, like, I have my own feelings about the Kardashians, but it's not, I guess it's not like I don't hate them or anything. I think they're, you know, smart for doing what they're doing. You know what I mean?
They're girl bosses. Sorry, I'm shutting up. No, I hear you. I definitely hear you. It's a weird thing because it's like like my general opinion about MGK dating Megan Fox, Courtney dating Travis, Kim dating Pete is that I don't care. But I feel like because it's a hot topic right now that, like, you know, I do care in the sense of, like, I actually like seeing Courtney and Travis pics. I think they're really cute. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't know why people care so much. And by that, I mean, bringing it back to MGK, like, I feel like him dating Megan Fox put more of a spotlight on his music than anything else. And I really do understand why you might not like his music. You might think, you know, he just made emo profitable, and yeah. But I'm like, other people do that
all the time.
I just think there's better reasons to hate the guy than, like, trying to, like, oh, he doesn't play his instrument. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like...
Yeah, that wasn't even, like, the original reason why I didn't really like him. Like, his music isn't bad. His music is, I don't know, I guess generic is the word I want to use. Like, it's fine. You know what I mean? I don't love it. I don't really hate it either. Like, it's just, like, okay, like, you know, it's not bad.
And I would agree with you, yeah.
But... you know, just, you know, we're probably gonna get into this, but just more of, like, some of the crappy stuff he's said over the years. You know, I was watching Punk Rock MBA's video on why, you know, about hating MGK and stuff, and he mentioned specifically that, like, the whole rock punk genre, a lot of us like to see people who align with our values, and I think that's a big thing on why a lot of people don't like him, because his values aren't really there. Like,
they don't align with ours because he's taking the emo aesthetic but has the old school rock star mentality, which we haven't seen in such a long time. Like, again, it feels like, you know, again, now that I'm a scholarly emo, you can point to, like, you know, when Nirvana came on the scene, the rock star image changed, because our rock stars before that were 80s metal, you know, glam rock fucks, like Motley Crue, that, let's be real, did not treat women correctly in that sense, you know. They trashed hotel rooms. They were pretty. That was a big thing. You know, Kurt Cobain comes on the scene wearing ripped up jeans and, you know, dirty hair, like, you know, yeah, like, he's just literally a guy who got up in the morning. And, you know, you look back, you know, further than the 80s, you see the history, like, you know, 70s glam, punk was a look. Emo was a look, but also, like, you know, we can look at, like, Black Veil Brides and shit like that. Like, yeah, they had a look. But I guess the shit that feels like it lasted longer in our scene was the shit that was, like, more personable. Again, within reason, because, like, obviously, MCR, I feel like there were so many looks going on there, but...
they had a flair for the dramatics, but, you know...
but they still treated, you know, for the most part... yeah, no, there was no scandal. I know there was some scandal with Mikey, but that's still not like that's like a personal business thing with Mikey and his wife. There was no, like, abuse there.
Right.
Is what I'm dancing around. But... yeah, what I'm trying to say is MGK embodies old school rock and roll ideals where we have, as a society, have grown up from that, like, in a way. There's some people, again, like, I'm not saying I'm correct about this, but it is nice to see a rock star again. Obviously, I cannot support, like, the reasons I'm going to list why it's cool to hate MGK. Reasons to actually critique MGK is my segment. Put it in a rainbow. Because at the end of the day, like, I guess, like, before I jump into, like, the reasons to actually hate MGK, or dislike MGK, or criticize MGK, when I see things like MGK doesn't play his guitar and things like that, I genuinely look at it as an attack on his fans, and I don't think his fans necessarily deserve that kind of treatment of just feeling bad because they like his songs. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I get it. He's also, like, you know, like you were saying, he's kind of profiting off of this music genre and, you know, whatever. So again, so are so many other people. But he's also, I feel like since his popularity is there, he's kind of, I guess, for a lot of kids, maybe like the first person or one of the first people they'll hear in this genre that will get them into all these other bands that, you know, so.
Exactly. And we're gonna touch on someone else who's very important to the scene now, but like kind of like, and I talked to you on the side about this person, where their treatment was like back when we were in middle school and high school, we didn't tell people we listened to this person. It just wasn't cool. You weren't really emo if you listened to this person, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's like, it's that gatekeeping. It's like, oh, you must not like, you know, you must not really be about this scene if you listen to so-and-so. It's like, no, fuck you. Like, again, we're going to go over real reasons to critique MGK, which is like, if you don't want to listen to MGK because of these reasons, that is fine with me, because I get it. But yeah, I guess to kick off the list, oh God, I guess we could start with, you know, his creepy comments towards underage girls. Yeah, like, again, I'm talking old rock star mentality, but, you know, it's predator behavior, you know. I think the scandals, multiple scandals, really started off with, you know, I, like so many, came to know MGK's name because of the Eminem beef he had, because, you know, before he was an alternative guy, he was a not that great rapper. You know, I certainly did not take him seriously back then. And then when Eminem came out with his diss track, and I just listened to what the fuck MGK came up with.
Something I said in 2012 took you 6 years and a surprise album just to come with a diss. Homie, we get it. We know that you're the greatest rapper alive. Fucking dweeb, all you do is read the dictionary and stay inside.
Like, I don't need to know this guy. Fully was just not about it. That said, the reason why there was a scandal, for people who don't know, not even a scandal, a beef. I'm sorry. It's a scandal, but there was a beef. And the beef stemmed from MGK saying some, like, really shady and gross things about Haley Jade Mathers, Eminem's then 16-year-old daughter. And I believe MGK is either is he 30? I don't know. I think he's like...
I think if I'm not mistaken, he's 32, because I think he's about 4 years older than, you know, we are or something. I don't know, something like that.
So, yeah, M had seen the interview that he said these things. How this all came about was MGK actually, like, wrote tweets about Haley, and it came up in an interview. And MGK, wow, now I'm just getting my white rappers confused. Sorry, Eminem ended up hearing and seeing these things, and he was like, yo, what the fuck? You better chill. And then, like, M being M got kind of pretty, like, I wouldn't say petty, because, like, honestly, I think everyone deserves a little humbling moment in their career at one point or another. But MGK was also, like, touting that he was, like, the best rapper. So M came on and was like, hey, like, I'm gonna just school you real fast.
Now, with him being in the, like, alternative genre, and then he still had this kind of, like, attitude towards other artists that have been doing this a lot longer than him. And you know, he just kind of, again, like, you know, we talked about the Slipknot beef, and, you know, just the way he goes about, I guess, trying to, like, I don't know if he's, like, trying to prove himself. I don't really know, like, what he's really...
He's a little bit of a tryhard, like, but also in like, again, like, as someone who can kind of, like, I don't know, it's like, I recognize that and I get that, but I don't know what I'm even defending here. I'm not defending anything. Yeah, I get it. I get how he's not palatable at all. I really do. I know why I find him palatable, and that's because I I was a fan of like Motley Crue and glam, you know, like while I was also a fan of, you know, like bands like Nirvana, like the more stripped down. I'm big into Midwestern emo now, which is just a bunch of guys wearing flannels, you know. But there is something that like I don't know what was baked into me from a young age or blah blah blah, that like seeing a rock star be a rock star is so fucking entertaining for me.
Right, and I feel like his like aesthetic too, like the way he dresses and stuff. I do enjoy his. Yeah, I really do like the style, and I feel like it's, you know, he paints his nails, and I love the androgynous look that he kind of like touches on a little bit. But this is probably another topic for another day. But I feel like also in, you know, the music scene in general, I feel like a lot of these white men are like able to dress this way and not really receive. I mean, yeah, there's backlash, but I feel like it's not as much as like men of color deal with when they yeah, like, you know, like if a black or Hispanic man did it, like forget about it, you know what I mean? Like I remember all the backlash Bad Bunny was getting when he did that music video when he was in drag. Yeah, he paints his nails all the time, like even still, you know, just on a regular. So, but that, you know, that's definitely like another topic for another day. But yeah, like, but regardless,
no, for sure, Bad Bunny, give us tickets. Another topic for another episode, but I just watched John Oliver's episode about why tickets are so expensive and what we can do about it, and I would love to talk about the soaring prices of tickets because my wallet's hurt. But yeah, you know, again, MGK has said some creepy shit about underage girls. We just mentioned Haley, Eminem's daughter, but also Kendall Jenner when she was 17. And I have the direct quote here, so I am quoting MGK. Yeah, it was like the interviewer too was also being, you know, it's one of those, like, I just wish the creepy questions would stop. The interviewer asked MGK if he was counting down the days to when Kendall Jenner was 18. MGK responded, I'm 23. I'm not like a creepy age. I'm 23. She's 17, and she's a celebrity. There's no limit right there. And yeah, I mean, there might be more of that quote, but I'm gonna stop it there because I think there in itself yeah, bro, like you fucked up. You fucked up. That's so, ugh. Like, if you're waiting for someone to turn 18 in general, like, you're a creep. Like, that's, like, I don't care. I, like, this whole, like, well, now they're legal. And, like, you know, we see it in pop culture now, too. Like, people are counting down the days for Billy Bobby Brown. I think I got that right. The girl from,
Millie Bobby Brown?
Yes, Millie. You know, and or you know, I think my brain wanted to say Billie Eilish because Billie Eilish just turned.
Oh, her too. She's another one that a lot of people were being fucking weird about.
Yeah, everyone was fucking and like, and I'm just like, you could just not be a fucking creep.
Imagine how easy that would be.
Imagine. Like, taking a girl that is just freshly into her womanhood, like, you're gross, dudes. I don't care who I offend with that one. Yeah, if you're, like, counting down the days, and, like, also just openly admitting that you're not even gonna wait because she's a celebrity, fuck that. Solid fucking reason to hate on MGK. I cannot defend that. I am here as a fan of his music saying, I hear you, and yeah, we should talk about it more. I guess the reason why, and it's not a good reason, but I guess, I mean, me and Kim have talked about this a lot, about how a lot of people from our youth, our scene, have done terrible things to women. And while I think this is terrible, I hate to say on the chart of things that are terrible, at least these were just words as far as we know. Like, if people, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if he just said these things, it's almost like a Drake situation, which I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit about Drake too, because like, you know, there's all the grooming allegations and stuff. If there are women that come out and speak up about Drake grooming, I am with those women, because he has proven, like, with words that he can be a creep. But I don't know, maybe I'm gonna get maybe I shouldn't even say these things. I'm just like, just speak my truth. I don't know. It's just like, I'm like, I feel like you can have some sort of redemption arc with words versus like actually inflicting harm on someone else. Does that make sense? Like, if he actually did some of these things that he said, fucking monster. But since they are just like, you know, just like, oh, keep our eyes out for you, you're kind of a red flag.
Yeah, it's weird, because I feel like it's like I know people are like, about just many different topics, they're like, oh, it's just words at the end of the day, but I feel like it's just also enforcing like all of these, you know, really, really bad behaviors. Yeah, like really shitty, unexcusable behaviors that, you know, it's something else.
I'm acknowledging that this is a very, very paper thin argument. Like, it's not a good one that I'm like, hey, I'm gonna die on this hill. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you know, like, so many bands of ours that have done a lot worse to women. And again, I feel gross saying that I'm just like, I'm watching you, and we should call out that what he's saying is fucking wrong. I'm not ready to fucking just throw his whole career out. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm fully acknowledging that I could be the problem. But at the end of the day, people are still listening to Ronnie Radcliffe and the Beatles. So, you know, and again, not making that right either. But it's just, music is so... We've talked about this, and like one day I would love to do an episode about like how I know a problematic band is going to probably show up in my year in review this year. Yikes. But it's McCafferty. I would love to talk about how, because like I keep meeting people that are just like, yo, this band meant the fucking world to me. Their lyrics, like, I have such a hard time not listening to McCafferty stuff, because their music really helped me during a really dark time, especially last year, because I was kind of late to the party with McCafferty. But then, yeah, you do your Google search, you see the fucking Google Doc that pops up about the lead singer, Nick, being the worst. And yeah, what do you do? What do you do when the art means a lot to you? And I can say the same thing about Tickets to My Downfall. Like, again, I'm not here saying it's the best thing that's ever happened to pop punk. I'm not saying it's anything like that. I just think that album came into my life during a really important time for me, where it just helped. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, maybe we can dive into that like another time. But I feel like there's that topic of the separation of art from the artist when it comes to, I think I feel like I have a lot to say about that, so maybe we'll save that for another episode. But yeah, no, it's I get where you're coming from. I you know,
again, like, I'm even looking at more and more stuff, and it's like, oh my god, I feel like a bigger asshole, because I didn't realize, like, again, there are tweets, so I don't know where to land, but it's like, you know, people have dug up like MGK tweets that are like, I wish 13, 14, and 15-year-old girls weren't allowed to be so hot, and I wouldn't feel like such a creeper when I'm looking at them. I'm still 19, I'm just saying. And it's just like, bro.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot to unpack. I guess, I don't know, like I said, I feel like at the end of the day, like, a lot of men who say things like that usually are, you know, 99% of the time, like, they've kind of probably, yeah,
have acted on this. I'm like, it's tough, and if anything comes out, I'll believe it, because the fucking proof is right here. It's just like one of those things where it's like, I don't know. We'll keep our eye on it. I'm working on lessening the MGK content on our social. I mean, that's pretty much, I think, a good portion. Like, we could also talk about how he really did, like, you know, and this is a common problem with music. Basically, like, remember when Miley Cyrus was twerking and everything and blah, 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 and then she threw away black culture because that wasn't profitable anymore? That's how I kind of feel with MGK and hip-hop. I don't know if that's...
Like, again, MGK and his rap career was kind of like a joke thing, like amongst, like, you know, me and my friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he would come up, but I never really listened to him. Like, do you feel like he was appropriating in any sense, kind of like how people had, I guess, saw Miley doing, in a sense?
I don't think it was to that degree. You know what I mean? Like, I think I would put him more into, like, the little peep, the little, like a Juice WRLD. Like, he was doing emo rap, hip-hop, more so, I think. I just think he's really generally, like, he just sucked at it, and he just realized that, you know, leaning more into the alt scene. And he still kind of raps, too, so that's why I was like, I kind of want to touch on it, but I don't know where I land on it, because personally, like, I can obviously see the argument, and I'm not saying it's not there. I just don't know if I feel strongly enough to argue that. Again, with Miley, it was very obvious to me. I'm just like, you know, especially because Miley went on, like, talk shows about how, like, oh, it's trashy, like, well, you know, like, just really dissing the culture that really just kind of helped build her up. I think, if anything, hip-hop broke MGK down because it humbled him, you know, and... yeah, that's where I kind of land on that, and that's pretty much all I really have to say for this episode. Trust me, guys, while I can take all the, like, oh, Jen, come get your man's jokes, it is honestly funny. I won't bullshit you, and I will always give you the honest truth about, you know, when people we do like are fucking monsters, and yeah, that's all I really want to say about that.
Yeah, he's done a fair amount of, like, questionable things, and, like, I don't know, I guess I forgot about this interview he did, but I don't know if you heard about that, the comment he made about black women.
No, I didn't.
Like,
fuck.
Oh God.
All right.
it was more. I mean, it was just kind of like a sexual thing. I don't like. Maybe we'll edit it out, but I just want to, like, tell you, he was just kind of like, oh, like, black women give the best head.
Nice.
Yeah, during, like, an interview. I don't know how many years ago it was, but I mean, he was obviously, like, over 20. But yeah, I guess between that, the stuff he said about, you know, younger people, and just, you know, and then besides that, like, his general beef with other artists in the music scene, it's just, you know, many reasons why we can hate MGK, and, like, it's okay, because I did feel like a kind of a party pooper when he started getting popular, and I was like, well, you know, I'm not, you know, again, his music's not, like, god awful or anything, but I always feel like that. I'm like, well, like, you know, I don't want to, like, rain on anyone's parade here, but I was like, but he is kind of shitty. So
we don't like to, I personally don't like to yuck people's jams anymore. But no, I get it, because, like, I also felt some sort of way when, like, the Corey MGK thing was going on. Corey from Slipknot. Why am I blanking on Corey's last
Taylor.
name? Hey, thank you. Fucking of Stone Sour and Slipknot fame. We talked about this on the podcast before, so I won't take too much time. But while I was doing, like, my research for this little segment, I found the actual text messages that Corey sent Travis Barker, and I am Team Corey all the way. I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck, MGK? You didn't need to do that. Like, Corey literally was just like, hey, I just don't think this track is for me. I hope, yeah. Like, I wasn't aware of that. I thought Corey was coming out of pocket and saying some shit on a podcast or something. Which he did, but, like, it's, you know, MGK kind of started it. Yeah. It's, you know, we'll talk about other shit when, like, you know, when the person you're punching down punches back up, I don't really feel that bad about it. So that's all I got about MGK. I know, like, our 5 listeners that hate MGK, you can tune back in, because we're going to talk about, I mean, like, we lightly touched upon this before we got into the topic, but I think the reason why I get slightly defensive with MGK is because I feel like when people just shit on his music, it's the same shit we heard with Avril Lavigne, which is our next segment. It's like, why Avril Lavigne wasn't cool back then. Or, you know, it wasn't cool to like Avril Lavigne if you were a part of the quote unquote scene. Kim, did you feel that way?
Right, like you're a poser.
Yeah, you were a poser.
Yeah, no, of course. Like, people would always, like, say stupid shit, like, oh, yeah, you're a poser. You know, if you like Avril Lavigne, like, she's a poser. And, like, yeah, her music is, especially with the new album, which I've been, you know, shamelessly listening to that on repeat. I don't care. But it is more, like, her music is more pop. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with her music. I never did. I've always been a big fan. And, you know, like we were talking about, too, like, off the podcast, like, you know, we would kind of, like, hide the fact that we liked certain artists, Avril Lavigne definitely being one of them. Like, no one was allowed to know that I liked Avril Lavigne, and I can't listen to Skater Boy in front of my friends, like, you know.
You know, like, it was a bigger joke than anything else. Like, I just remember, like, you know, again, like, I could talk about Avril Lavigne to my friends that weren't really into the scene, like, quote-unquote normies that, you know, were still listening to, like, the hit 100 stations and stuff like that. Not that, you know, like, even that kind of shit, I would just be like, oh my god, my mom's, like, you know, my mom's driving me somewhere and I have to listen to Justin Bieber and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah, that's how it felt back then. It's just like, you didn't admit to listening to Avril. Yeah, because what Kim said is right. It's pop music. It isn't, you know, like, it is, you know, pop punk, you know, like, but I also think it's because Avril was a girl.
Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to touch on that too. I feel like that's a huge part of why a lot of people, you know, disliked her.
Yeah, it's like, I'm really happy she's getting her dues now and the love that she probably fucking deserved back then. And maybe the love was always there, but I just feel like as a young kid, maybe guys thought she was hot, but like no one was taking her seriously. It was just a piece of eye candy, you know, like, which is fucked. Because especially on her earlier albums, and I love Best Damn Thing. I fucks with that heavy, but I didn't tell people I did. I mean, we've talked about Avril so much that, like, I won't, like, you know, he wasn't Anthem. But you listen to her earlier stuff, and it is more like, you know, there is the pop punk tunes, but then there's the ballads, and then there's the, like, you know, obviously, like, more, Alanis Morissette sounding songs, or, you know, just, like, singer-songwriter songs.
I looked away, then I looked back at you. You tried to say things that you can't undo.
I think the scene wasn't really ready for that at the time, where now we're like, you know, we have more, like, maybe a credit to, you know, I feel off saying that because, you know, obviously, like, Time of Your Life by Green Day was a thing. Again, I think it's just because she's a fucking girl at the end of the day. You know, like, I, like, that singer-songwriter-ness of Avril just wasn't well received, and then add toxic masculinity onto that as well, of the scene that we grew up in.
To piggyback off of the comments about Brand New, I kind of have a similar issue with listening to, like, early Dance Gavin Dance or Emarosa because of everything that happened with Johnny Craig. Like, there's stuff that's still, like, coming out as recently as 2019 involving, like, allegations and any scams that he was doing in the early 2010s and stuff. It just really leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I can't really go out of my way to listen to the music anymore after I learned about everything that had happened.
Yeah, no, there are definitely, you know, Johnny Craig in general just made so many amazing songs and collabed with so many cool bands, and I don't know, it is sad that, you know, we just can't, like, listen to him comfortably, and, you know, it's shitty, you know, he shouldn't have done those things, but yeah, I'm there with you.
Yeah, I listened to the self-titled Emarosa album so much in my senior year of high school, and it just kind of feels bad to not really, like, reflect on that in a positive way at all.
Yeah, I mean, not to draw this out any longer, but, like, yeah, Jesse from fucking Brand New, like,
that was probably one of the hardest ones for me.
You just get so disappointed in your heroes, man. That's why I try not to have many anymore. I really try to just remember people are fucking human and are capable of fucking disappointing you at any given moment. Is that sad? Is that an emo lyric? Pod people, emos. What should our band be called? Leave a comment.
So back to Avril. This is my controversial take. Avril Lavigne walked so Taylor Swift could run. Y'all were talking about how the world was not really ready for like that kind of singer-songwriter kind of situation. A lot of variety in genre and stuff. And also toxic masculinity and whatnot. I mean, Kanye, I'm gonna let you finish kind of situation too, which inevitably rose up for her. I don't know. I see some parallels here.
I see some parallels too. I do agree with you because, yeah, I'll be honest too. When Taylor came on the scene, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but I remember being like, no, that's not my type of music because that's what the scene deemed was not good music back then. So I just kind of wrote off Taylor Swift as just this girl with a guitar and not someone to take seriously. And why do I feel like that? Like, I kind of just want to like deconstruct, like, why did I feel like I had to feel like that? Like,
Internalized misogyny.
exactly.
Yes, I feel like you definitely like grew up feeling that way about women artists. And, as much as I like to say, like, we talk about women artists here and those feelings about like ourselves but like, tell me Teardrops on My Guitar wasn't an emo anthem.
You're so right.
Taylor Swift, and again, this is not what this podcast is. Like, I'm not like, but fuck it. Taylor Swift is so fucking talented. Like, even if she's not my cup of tea, like in a wide sense, there's so many songs that I hear and I'm just like, that's good. And again, it's the toxic fucking masculinity that just kind of like, has seeped in. And you know what, Bobs, you might be onto something there again. And even like when Avril changed her sound, it just kind of like even more people are like, no, fuck this girl. Like, talking about Best Damn Thing, girlfriend era. And now we're all jumping around to that shit at emo night now, which is great. Also, you can look at emo night too. Like everyone, I feel like we're going to touch on things soon. Like the quote unquote mall emo is rarely in right now. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like similar feelings. I'm just like, no, let people enjoy whatever they're going to fucking enjoy. But also like
remember when we were doing that and everyone hated us?
Yeah. Yes. I guess I'm just bitter.
I think I'm just a little bitter. On that same note, it does make me happy to see kids just liking what they like because, I just like really feel
yeah, and it would have been great to have this, I guess, growing up. But again, we got into the reason why we're music fans. It's not because we thought it was going to instantly make us popular. Maybe we thought, I don't know. I don't know why we are the way we are, I guess. But it's like if I wanted to be a popular person, I wouldn't be listening to the music I was listening to in high school. I wouldn't dress the way. I don't know what I was thinking. I just really wanted to be part of the scene. So, and at the time, toxic masculinity ran amok. So maybe that's the theme of this episode. It's just like, we're talking, and it's Women's History Month. Let's fucking go. So we'll talk about some more females. Females, ew, I'm an incel.
Wow, females. You're a real podcaster now.
Oh no, problematic button. Do we have a problematic? You need to leave.
You need to leave.
Real quick before the Avril train departs, do either of you subscribe to the conspiracy that she was replaced by a lookalike in 2003?
I was really like deep diving into it when it first became a thing on the internet. But like, so I think about it when her new album came out. I was like, is this really Avril? But to this day, I think it's fine. I think it's really her.
I've listened to like an entire podcast episode about this specific subject, and it's still like very funny to me because there's also like a similar thing that happened with Andrew WK, where people think that he's been like replaced by multiple people over time and stuff like that. But we're not gonna approach that subject right now. I'll send you both the podcast episodes at another time. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very like harmless conspiracy theory to believe in. I just think it's very funny that people would think that she was replaced by a body double named Melissa, but like, and people are like saying like they have proof and stuff. I don't know. It's like I said, it's very harmless. it's very harmless, and I just think it's really funny to believe in.
Melissa, I have the proof now. It's so funny. It's just like, because, like, it's funny that you mentioned Andrew WK, because we can even look back, like, people thought Paul McCartney was fucking replaced in the Beatles, like, he had died. These things just happen in music, and I don't know why, because, like, what? I like, it's the memes before the internet, and I'm just like, this one's just living, is flourishing. Where do I stand on this? No, I don't think she was replaced, but I kind of wish I took the stance that she was, just so I could fight you guys about it. But I wasn't prepared to talk about the body double today. Melissa, if you're listening to this, we love you. I will interview Melissa and or Avril wherever you are, if you are still with us. Maybe we can have a seance for Avril Lavigne. Anyway, the Avril train is not leaving just yet, my friends, because as we mentioned on the last episode, the one before my birthday, fucking new album by Avril came out. Love Sucks. Did you guys get a chance to listen to it?
Yeah, I've definitely been listening to it since it came out. I do like the songs on there. I'm here for it. I remember when it was announced that MGK was going to be on the album. Yet again, here we are, and everyone was like, "No, get him out of here." But I was excited to see Black Bear on the album too, which is like super cool. And Mark from Blink-182, of course. You know.
By the way, happy birthday, Mark. We love you. God, 50. But, yeah, no, I really enjoyed the album. So the song with Mark Hoppus, All I Wanted, I actually really liked that. I think that was my favorite duet. Is it a duet? What makes a duet? Anyway, Mark Hoppus is featured on the fucking song. I really liked it.
All I wanted was you. Let's do whatever it takes. Me and you, we can lose. I'll take you away from here, from the city that never loved you.
But other than that, I really fucked with Cannonball. I think it was a great way to get into this album.
Yeah, that was a great start to the album. When I first heard that song, I was like, oh, I'm ready.
Ticking time bomb. Yeah, it's catchy as fuck, dude. I didn't care for Boys Lie. I mean, it's fine. It's just kind of repetitive. Kim, what is, like, can you name your favorite track from the album?
Yeah, I was gonna say the one with Mark was probably like the one I shared when I first heard the album because it was my favorite. But besides that, I'm gonna say Avalanche.
I keep trying just to make it to the end of the day. You know I hate it. Been lying, my body's aching. What do you do when the hero needs saving? Honestly,
I think I really like that one too. But definitely the one with Mark was probably my favorite. But Avalanche was another one I really liked on there.
I was definitely so I said Cannonball obviously because I think that was just a catchy, great tune to kick off the album. And then Kiss Me Like the World Is Ending. I have a special place in my heart now. I'm just like, no real reason. I just really I feel like we all experienced a feeling of the world ending for realsies in the last couple of years. So now I just have that the next time the world is ending, I just hope I'm not alone for it. So I just like it. That's where we'll land there because I don't want to spend too much time because we want to move on and talk about some other hot chicks in the scene. It feels like the most Avril project in a long time, and I think that's where I'm really happy because the last couple just didn't really feel like Avril to me. But yeah, Women's History Month. We gotta thank the gorgeous girls that make this scene fucking go around, and they don't get enough fucking recognition of it. So I think, Kim, I feel like the podcast hates us because we talk about Willow so much.
Maybe, but I don't care. Willow could do no wrong.
Willow seriously can do no wrong. I love and support, and if Willow fucking stormed onto the scene with Lately I've Been Feeling Everything. But also before that, like, let's be real, her project with Tyler Cole and The Anxiety, phenomenal. Like, that came out during the height of 2020, or maybe before the world was technically ending. And it just fits so well with the vibes that were going around with 2020.
Nah, they don't want to try to coexist, but we gonna die if we don't resist. We all in the middle of a crime zone, trying to save the world from your iPhone.
I don't know, I just love it. I was also like, I caught myself listening to some of her older stuff, because I'll be real, like, you know, Willow Smith was like, I whip my hair back and forth, like, again, wasn't really my type of music. I didn't feel any sort of way towards Willow. But the last few albums of hers have been very guitar, singer, songwriter things. I just heard the song called Boy. I'll add it to our playlist for this week. And it talks about how he's angst. Like, it's just like, it's a good emo tune. Like, honestly, it's describing the men that I'm into.
Hey mom, I met a boy, he plays guitar.
So yeah, that's my little love letter, little love note to Willow. Again, I know we talk about her a lot, so I won't try to ramble here. But Kim, any loving things you want to say about our girl, our savior?
Yeah, I think just seeing her growth over the years from, again, I whip my hair back and forth to now, it's just been crazy. And I don't know, I'm really, and her whole aesthetic and her shaved head and just all, I'm just very much here for it.
Did you see her shave her head to I Whip My Hair Back and Forth on stage?
Oh, no, I did not. I have to watch that then.
She did
That sounds iconic.
Yeah, it was iconic, and that's what I think. That was the moment I was like, I love this girl. That right there, like, you know, Transparent Soul came out, and I was just like, you know, maybe a little hesitant, because again, we saw emo take a boom, and I'm like, okay, is she in this because it's profitable? But also, she was kind of like she was already in it, you know. I just like, it wasn't as in our face, I guess. But then she took the stage. I forget what show she was at or blah blah blah, but she played I Whip My Hair Back and Forth, pop punk version of the song, and she had someone come and shave her head while she was playing guitar, and it's fucking incredible. I'll send it to you, and then maybe I'll add in like a little clip of the audio here so you guys can hear that version now. Okay, cool. You guys liked it? Cool. Yeah, you guys should check it out. I'll have Kim tweet it out too. So, but other ladies of the scene, I think we would not have Willow if we didn't have Fifi Dobson, which me and Kim have been like really talking about a lot.
It's so funny because she randomly kind of came up for me on Spotify, like, I don't know, like a couple like months ago or something. I was like, oh wow, remember her? And then all of a sudden she's at freaking emo night in the city. Like, isn't that crazy? Right? Are you coming back?
Like, Fifi, where have you been? I think she's coming out with a new album. I think, so I'll be real honest and say Fifi was a very late discovery for me. Like, I was talking about, you know, how pop punk and blah, blah, and my cousin was like, oh, just like Fifi Dobson. And I'm like, whomst? And my cousin, who's in her 30s, sat me down and just showed me a bunch of Fifi's music videos. And I was like, how the fuck did I not know about a black, like, people keep saying she's a black Avril Lavigne. I feel like that's a little bit, what's the word? It's not pandering, but just like, I don't like when anyone's the black version of something, you know? I'm just like, no, that's Fifi Dobson, but like, just having a black punk icon, like, would have been so important to me growing up. Why the fuck did I not know about Fifi? I really hope her and Willow, and maybe even Avril, just kind of collaborate, like, because Willow and Avril already collaborated, but I think it'd be really dope if Fifi and Willow collab, to get, you know, again, the fucking recognition she deserves. add some Fifi songs to the playlist because I feel like the scene doesn't really talk about, like, again, it's just like she's not really praised upon, but I really feel like Fifi crawled so Willow could walk, and then Meet Me at the Altar can kind of soar, because Meet Me at the Altar is having, you know, we've, again, talked about them. They're having a moment where they're on tour. They fucking sound fantastic. I recently just sent Kim a video of me seeing them on their, when they played in New York City, covering break stuff. Chef's kiss.
Iconic. Oh my gosh. When I saw the tweet that, like, I didn't even see the video yet. Someone was just, like, tweeting of that night, like, oh, they just covered Limp Bizkit. I was like, no way. Are you kidding me? I thought that was nuts.
It was, but it, like, they did a whole medley. And they played a bunch of, like, you know, they played Lit's My Own Worst Enemy. They did My Friends Over You. And then My Friends Over You went into break stuff. And we just fucking lost it. Yes. Like, I wish you were there. Because, like, me and my friends were just like, you know the Drake meme where he's just looking up in the ground? It was like that. It was like, we were just like, oh, just one of those days. Meet Me at the Altar did a... not a Captain Crunch commercial, some cereal commercial, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I believe. One of the crunches. They just did a commercial for that. And it's interesting because I wonder how that's going to be received, more or less, when people know that happened. I don't know how many people kind of know. But again, I'm reading a book called Sellout, and it's just like, oof, back in the day, that would be a kiss of death. You know, like, they're still small enough that I don't know how something like that's going to affect them, but also fucking get your bag, ladies. I don't care. Yeah, like, we know, we all just out here trying to eat. How long before pop punk is used to sell me a car? I guess it already is, all the small things.
Hey, MCR was on the Honda Civic tour, so I mean, does that count?
Does that count? I think it needs to be a TV commercial. So if we see a commercial with teenagers playing in the back, then we know. Again, I feel like Blink-182 has already, like, I think for, not Buick. What's the douchebag car?
Please don't say Subaru.
No, BMW. Yeah, I think they were, they're selling to me. Yeah, but bringing it back to the lovely, lovely ladies of the scene, though. Again, the Queen, Hayley Williams. Kim, this was a question that someone asked me. Why is Hayley Williams allowed at the cookout? I was like, I don't know, but, like, she is. I love it. Like, it's seriously, like, black people in Paramore, like, we fucking stand. It is just like it's a, like, fun niche. I don't know if that's it. Like, Paramore's relationship with the black community is something that I just love. I cannot explain it. I guess at the end of the day, it's because they've always been good.
Right. Consistently, too, yeah.
Consistently good. I cannot name a bad Paramore or Hayley Williams project. I mean, Paramore's big now. Like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh my God, poor Paramore, they never got their dues. But I almost feel like the love that we gave MCR should also translate to Paramore, more or less. And maybe it's not like that because Paramore kind of, they stuck around. They just kind of take short breaks in between things. Like, they never, like, disbanded like MCR did. So maybe, like, if they ever did that and then had a Paramore tour, like, it'd be as big as, like, what we're seeing with MCR. More so, it's like MCR, in my opinion, has never dropped a bad project. Same thing with Paramore, and I just think that's magical. Have you listened to Hayley Williams' side, like, her personal album?
Not the whole thing. My friend has sent me some songs by her solo stuff. And yeah, I mean, I probably should, like, dive deep into her solo stuff. I don't know why I never did. Yeah, I mean, I heard mixed things about it, though. Some people really liked it. A lot of people were like, it's not for me. Like, but I mean, it is different than Paramore, obviously.
Yeah, I think, like, if you're looking to listen to it and you're looking for Paramore, you're not gonna find it there. But I think there's some real, like, Petals for Armor probably was one of, like, my favorite albums in 2020. If you're a fan of Phoebe Bridgers, things like that, like, you would really like the album, I think. That's not even, like, a great example, but it's just like, you know, again, it's more slow. It's
like similar vibe.
Like, there's definitely some bops. Like, there's, like, some, like, poppier tunes, but it's definitely more on that indie wave.
I have seen
There are a lot of good tracks on it, so if you haven't listened to it, I think you should. But also, yeah, if you're looking for Paramore, then just re-listen to some Paramore.
It's always interesting when people kind of expect some artists' solo projects to be exactly like the band that they were in. Like, of course, they, like, why start a new project if they're going to play the same music?
It's funny because Bobby sent us, this has nothing to do with women in the industry, but Bobby had sent us in our little Discord channel, like, the State of Emo, an interview that Anthony Fantano had on his channel. And Anthony was like, oh, I hated Green Day's era of American Idiot. Again, I do remember people fucking hating on American Idiot, but now we look back on it and it was like, it's such a fucking great album. I don't know what point I was trying to make here other than like people get mad when artists change their sounds, but like, isn't that what we want? Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess you could just stay in your old ways, but I kind of want my artists to kind of try new things too. Like, don't completely sell what makes you you, but like, I don't know.
Taking back to when Danger Days came out, you know how much shit I've gotten from people during that time? Bro. And I love Danger Days. Like, I made that album my entire personality.
Fuck, you could really get me going about fucking Danger Days, because problematically, for my life, Danger Days is definitely probably top 2 for me for MCR. Danger Days is such an interesting thing for me because it's just like by the time MCR came out with that album, they perfected they really like honed in on their skills to make a theme and a visual novel and blah blah blah. Like Danger Days was literally a story from start to finish, while an album like Don't Kill Me Until I Explain This on Another pod, something like Black Parade, there's maybe 1 or 2 songs that don't really fit with the theme.
You're not the first person I've heard that says that, actually. It's funny. And like I'm here for that notion. We can definitely chat about that later.
Yeah, we'll definitely chat about it, but like, yeah, I get why people maybe aren't a big fan because the sound did change, but I think like I was more, at that point I was kind of on my way out of what I used to listen to anyway, and it felt like MCR was evolving with me. I was dating a very indie guy at the time, so he even really fucking fucked with that album. So it just, they took a chance and it worked for me, so that's where I land. Gun to my head, I could probably sing more Danger Day tunes than any other MCR album, I feel. The makeup palette, it's pretty good.
Oh my god, that's the one I didn't get. I didn't get to grab that one, but I got the Revenge one though. I love the red eyeshadows in there, so good.
So yeah, the reason why I got the MCR palette is because an artist that I follow on Instagram, who she's amazing, and I'm happy I can actually give her a shout out during our little segment for women. Corinne Cunningham. She started off making buttons, I guess, or like she's a graphic designer. Like first off, like she's a designer illustrator, but she started making buttons. And I don't know who brought them to my attention. It might have been you, Kim, on Twitter. I simply needed to own almost all of the MCR buttons that she created because they're gorgeous. I almost feel like, yeah, they're collector's items. And I also have I have my Not Okay pennant she designed in my office, and also a Look Alive Sunshine hat that she designed that I fucking love because, again, there's not enough Danger Day merch, in my opinion. They actually were the art director for the Danger Day palette, so I was like, fuck, I need it. I'm just a fan of her, but also I'm a big fan of the album, so I don't know if I'll get another MCR album palette if it comes out, but maybe I will, especially if she's behind it. She's also making like really cool merch for the tour, I think.
Yeah, she's just been making a lot of cool stuff, and like she was talking about some art she made for the Revenge palette, the pins, and that didn't, I guess, weren't approved, but I thought they were straight fire.
She's such an inspiration, and it's wild because like I desperately want to be her friend because I know she lives in Brooklyn and we're not like, we're almost the same age, if not like I'm maybe a year older or a year younger. Like we're in the same wheelhouse here. She's an inspiration though, and I think everyone should go check her out. We'll somehow give her a shout out. I give a shout out to her every now and then on the Instagram account, but like we'll sing her praises somewhere else too because yeah, women supporting women, she deserves it. Kim, I feel like I hijacked this convo. So any women in the scene that you want to shout out?
I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about Princess Nokia. I feel like, again, we've talked about artists with different, I guess that kind of jump around different genres a little bit. She's a rapper, but she also has a lot of cool emo songs. So I feel like she definitely deserves her place in the scene as well. And, you know, she just has a lot of songs that are also kind of reminiscent to, like, you know, when we were kids too. She, like, talks about Emily the Strange and about listening to that music during that time. And, yeah, she just has a lot of really cool stuff. I just remember hearing Gothic, and my friend was like, yo, like, this is she was like, this is you, like, in a song. She's from Harlem, so it was kind of cool to listen to, like, also songs about being a kind of a weird kid growing up in New York City, especially growing up in the hood. Like, I grew up in the Bronx, so it's, you know.
I'm goth as fuck, even when I'm not in black. Gothic is the pain you feel, not the clothes that's on your back. Don't give a fuck about the fun you make of me. I'm not the type to play a role, so get the
On top of Princess Nokia just being a weird kid from New York City, I think what also made her more relatable for me was her speaking about her Puerto Rican roots. So, yeah, shout out to Princess Nokia.
I always hear people talk about her, and, like, shamefully, I just have not really dove in deep, but I'm excited to see what you add to the podcast playlist this week. Well, Kim, thank you for, talking about Princess Nokia. I really do need to listen to her. Can't wait to see what's on the podcast playlist. Again, we always add on to our things. I don't know. We'll tweet it out. I'm being weird now. Let's jump into some news of the scene, because I think that's important. It is important. There's a lot happening. Punk Island in New York City this June 18th to be specific. It's a free do-it-yourself thing. I don't know what that necessarily means, but I'm definitely interested in going. Kim, what about you?
Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to, especially now that, I mean, hopefully things are getting better with the pandemic and all, and, you know, shows are coming back and stuff. I think it would be really nice to start seeing some local bands again, because I really miss doing that. Yeah, I originally found out about this event through Alliteration's post on Instagram, and so I was like, oh, like, they're gonna be there, like, maybe I'll pop through. I've checked out, I think I tried looking it up, but maybe I wasn't looking in the right places, but I was trying to look for kind of a lineup. I don't know if bands are just kind of announcing as time goes on if they're going or not, because I'm not really sure who's gonna, I don't think we have a set lineup yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is, like, they're probably at this point just going through their, because they asked for band submissions. Punk Island submissions are closed, but they were looking for bands to submit, I guess their songs, music, blah, blah, blah. And they would put you up there if they thought you were a good fit. I'm really hoping to see a few names there. I don't know who submitted what, but I like looking through Punk Island's Instagram account. I've noticed, like, the Muslims. I noticed, which is a great punk queer band. They have a song called "Fuck These Fucking Fascists." That's pretty fucking dope.
Fuck these fucking fascists, they can kiss our asses.
And then they've also shouted out the 1865, which I don't know if I really talked about on the pod. I feel like I might have, because I met one of the singers randomly. Yeah, I feel like I've told this story that I met the singer randomly at a bar, and they are very cool, very, very punk. And yeah, I see them being shouted out on their Instagram, Punk Island's Instagram, so hopefully I can see those two. And maybe again, Kim, you came to know about this through Alliteration. Would love to see Alliteration. I think if not there, then I need to take a trip upstate, because they're always playing in Poughkeepsie.
I think it would be really cool to see them in the loft, just because, to have a reason to go back to that shitty venue would be nice, I guess.
Yeah, it would be really nice to have like an excuse to go back to the loft. I'm not gonna lie. Pull the curtain too. I know this is now your second or third shout out this episode, guys. But like, if you guys applied or whatever, that'd be so hot. I would love that. Yeah, let us know if you're planning on going. I guess if you're listening to this and you're like, blah blah blah. Like we've been talking about, first off, like just meeting up with people in general and maybe getting small interviews on the streets, like, or as Bobby lovingly said to me, because he was like, "You idiots, you're on the scene." So let us know if at any point you guys are ever like, "Oh wait, is Jen or Kim going to be at this thing?" You should hit us up, because maybe we will, and I'm always looking for friends to stand with or blah blah blah, and yeah, we can get pizza and I can interview you. But Kim, do you want to hit on MCR tour things, or?
We're just seeing other bands get announced that same day when they were just announcing like openers, and they didn't announce anything for the Jersey date yet. So I'm like, where's our openers, huh? And so, yeah, where's my opening band, huh? So I'm like, it'd be really cool if I could finally see Thursday and in New Jersey at that with My Chemical Romance. I just think that'd be super iconic. And lo and behold, that same night, Thursday gets announced to be one of their opening acts, along with the Hopeless Gospel Choir.
Yeah, what is that, though? Like, is that an actual band, or am I actually getting ready for a choir?
I did see the Hopeless Gospel Choir once when I went to see Frank Iyer on the Celebration when he had that band. And they were pretty cool. They're kind of like folk punk kind of music, and they have like a lot of like political songs. And, it's really cool that they're going to be like opening up he's going to be opening up for My Chemical Romance now. So excited for that.
I'm so excited because we have tickets together for that show. Like, we're going to be literally there together experiencing all of that. So finally, everyone was just like hitting me up the day they announced more tickets, asking if I got, first off, more, but like I was also just like, at this point, I just like, if I was going to see My Chem like more than once, I'll just go to a music festival, because like I feel like we got really lucky with the fact that I was not working the day MCR tickets went live the first time, because I feel like I bought them for the actual price, even if they're not like, they're good seats, but they're not like floor level, because I don't fucking know. But what I'm trying to get at is like, I have a friend, shout outs to you, MJ, because you're a dedicated bitch, to the scene, to the people. I'm sorry, I love you. They ended up spending a ridiculous amount for floor tickets for Barclays Center, and I'm just like, for that amount of money, I'll just go to a festival. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna go to Firefly this year or not yet, but MCR did announce that they would be there, and it might be cool solely because I could see MCR in Green Day, which I've never seen Green Day live, and I know Green Day puts on a hell of a show. I'm still like, I don't know, I just kind of want to catch Green Day on an off like shoot day of just like, oh, they're playing at a smaller venue, and it's like, I'm just there. But that's a pipe dream. I just, I know it won't happen, but I just want to be in a small room with Billy Joel Armstrong and then be like, what happened to your son? Oh, I'm sorry. How did you fuck up that bad? No, I'm kidding. Billy, I love you. Yeah, we don't talk about the swimmers anymore. But yeah, I think that covers it for MCR news, right? Like, is there anything else? Yeah, you know who I was secretly hoping for, Kim, before we move on completely? Kimya Dawson. I would have cried if that was our day, because I feel like a lot of people would have been pissed off, but I would have been happy. Yeah, and they did a fantastic cover of Kids from Yesterday. We love Danger Days, so.
So hold on tight and don't look back. We don't care about the message or the rules they make. We'll find you when...
Great cover. All right, and then like the big, it's not an elephant in the room, but to end the news section, Kim, you've heard of Emo Brunch, right? How do we feel about Emo Brunch?
I think it's funny, like a funny pop-up to have, but I'm probably not going.
I guess I might have taken a step too soon. For those at home that haven't been bombarded with an Emo Brunch ad on Instagram yet, or wherever you may see an ad like this, Emo Brunch looks like it's a pop-up that is serving like black avocado toast, a black mimosa. Yeah, I don't know what else makes it emo other than they probably have a very dope Spotify playlist. I'm not trying to deny that. Like, I just know at the end of the day I'm going to spend $60 at this thing, and I just rather get good brunch somewhere else and then listen to my sad. Yeah, I'll just listen to my sad music somewhere else. I don't know. Like,
I have emo brunch by myself every day.
My emo brunch consists of cold pizza, a flat Red Bull, and maybe a drag of my friend's cigarette. Like, that is my emo brunch. Here we go. Again, Bobby's gonna laugh because he likes when I say yuck people's yams. But if this is something for you, I mean, like, is it that much different than going to an emo night? I don't know. And then there's like emo cruises that I also don't feel particularly inclined to go to. I know those are, at least you're getting a show. What are we doing, I guess? And like, again, like, it feels weird after saying like, oh, we're gatekeeping, but also let's stop gatekeeping, but also maybe gatekeep a little bit, because like,
gatekeep as a treat.
A gatekeep as a treat, because fuck, my culture is not a pop-up. That's all I gotta say. Bobby, will you be attending Emo Brunch?
Every brunch that I've ever attended is an emo brunch, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, here we are. The kids are not okay. We think it'd be really funny if we did go to Emo Brunch, guys, if like it means us doing like a on the streets, on the scene interview. So if you want us to go to Emo Brunch and we open up our Venmo account for people to send us money to go to Emo Brunch, we'll do it. I'll go if someone pays for me to go, and I'll talk about it and give you guys an honest-to-God review. If that sounds appealing, let us know. If you want an honest-to-God review about these fucking things, let us know, and maybe we'll budget it somehow. Send me and Kim on the emo cruise. Like, who do I want to see on an emo cruise? I don't fucking know. I feel like a Motion City soundtrack emo cruise, I wouldn't be mad about. I'd be like, that sounds fun.
Every Time I Die, I used to do like shows on cruises. Yeah, and I feel like everybody would have. I was like, just joking about it when they were, going on these boat shows, and I'm like, they're gonna destroy the fucking boat and everyone's gonna drown. Like, people go hard for Every Time I Die, so that I'll go on Every Time I Die cruise.
Exactly. Do we start moshing at sea? Oh my god, the boat's rocking and everybody. Oh god, the disaster. Get Newfound Glory to play My Heart Will Go On, because they covered that in the past. That boat sink. All right, we're at the end of the show then. Kim, let's hear some music shout-outs.
All right, so it's funny because the people I'm shouting out are actually on TikTok very often. I've probably sent you a bunch of their TikToks as well, but Kawaii as Fuck released a single called Little Demon Girl, and it was funny because they had posted about Emo Girl by MGK when it came out, and they were like, we're literally like about to release a song called Little Demon Girl. But yeah, Little Demon Girl over Emo Girl any day. Yeah, definitely check them out. They're also like super hilarious on TikTok and always have like lots of fun memes about, growing up in the emo, like early 2000s, 2010s scene era. Very relatable stuff. Always looking forward to their new post.
I'm going to shout out a band that, this is the fourth time I'm mentioning them, pull the curtain, put me onto this. I believe they're a band, but I think it's like, the key member who started the project, Kyle Richardson, of Passion Flower, all one word. Pull the Curtain was like, hey, you need to check out this band, and I was like, okay, I'm on it. and I started listening to a bunch of songs, off their album To Bloom Is To Grow, and I just instantly fell in love. It's just, I'm almost shocked that I'm in so early, because I just feel like I see them getting bigger. I see the potential here. It almost strikes me as like, I feel like I was not late because Kenny Hoopla is not big yet. But, Kenny Hoopla is like he works with Travis Barker. He was on a Willow's like music video, things like that. I feel like I'm almost like I'm in early enough that like, depending on how like emo really goes these next couple years, we can possibly see Passion Flower kind of just rise up to the occasion. Yeah, like I really fucked with the song If Today Is For Living, Then Why Am I Dying?
It's like you're stuck on a boat that's about to sink right down to the bottom of the sea, and all you can do is breathe.
It's just good. I don't really know what to tell you guys. Like, just fucking listen to it. It just reminds me a lot of Armor for Sleep. Is that what I'm thinking of? Maybe. It's just post-emo. Good post-emo. Go ahead. Go check Passion Flower out. Black artists, if you need some kind of guilt to actually check out our fucking playlist. Sorry, I'm actually fully canceled. No, I can say this. Yeah, they're fucking great, and I really am excited to see what comes next from them, and I'm happy to be put onto them. So, yes. Bobby, any shout outs from your end?
Absolutely, yeah. Weirdly enough, just as we had like finished up recording our last episode, Black Dresses did a stealth release of their latest album, Forget Your Own Face, which was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed their one track called Doom Spiral, which was really reminiscent of one of their first albums. Just really good stuff.
Another wasted chance, another falling star in my house, and I snuff it out.
And I made a reference to one of the songs earlier at the beginning when I was introducing myself, but X Society, which is Kill Bill the Rapper, Rav, Aerospace, and Square. They're a whole rap collaborative that just released their first group album called Deception Falls, and it's a good mixture of people talking about like their mental illnesses and relationships and dealing with ADHD, but also Bill really, really misses Sobe. He misses that Sobe dragon fruit so much, and nothing will ever scratch that itch for him. But definitely give either of those two albums a listen.
Ain't nothing better on a hot day in August than to guzzle on some Sobe. That was my favorite product. I'm a riot if I can't buy that bottle of Nirvana. Favorite flavor next to dragon fruit. What could come after you? Monster don't cut it. Left me wired on a rainy day. I don't play sports. Fuck, I look like drinking Gatorade. Propel don't propel me. The Monte got me tweaking hard. I swear, drinking Sobe, man.
Yeah, it's just been like on loop for me for the past couple of days since it came out. I'm enamored with it.
I guess it's the end, guys. Any other little things? Yeah.
I don't know, usual housekeeping stuff of like leaving reviews, commenting on Instagram stuff. Spotify officially, I think, has reviews publicly available now, so you can actually like give us stars and whatnot if you feel like doing that. I think it was like in beta testing for a while, but now it's actually like available to the public and you can do that.
Yes. Share us, blah, blah, blah. If you share any of our social channels or our podcast, let me know and I will try to get you a sticker. How about that as incentive if you made it this far and you listened to me say that? I was going to do it anyway, but you know a little earlier than most if you made it this far. But yeah, I guess the emos are about to head out then. Kim, I'll let you take it away.
All right. Well, yeah, happy anniversary to a goddamn podcast. It's been a wild ride, and, I appreciate you both being here to talk shit with me about the music scene and early 2000s banter. So thanks for that. Thanks for our listeners for sticking around for this long. And again, be sure to check us out on our socials at A Goddamn Podcast. And as always, we'll carry on. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Like a ticking time bomb.